Patriotic Party. My colleague Nanaya Ojima joins me via phone because we understand that there's been some spontaneous jubilation in some parts of the region following that news conference we brought to you a while ago by the General Secretary of the NPP. Some people are excited because their preferred candidates have been passed by the National Executive Committee and qualified to contest the elections. Nanaya Ojima, where are you at the moment and what can you report?
So presently, I'm in the home of former MP for the Manso Nkwanta constituency, Madam Grace Addo, and she's planning to stage a comeback in the constituency. Over the weekend, her supporters were on all local radio stations. They were very agitated because they claimed there were some schemes to get her out of the race. But today, her name was mentioned among the people who are supposed to contest for the parliamentary candidacy for the NPP, and she says campaign has kicked off. And if you can hear behind me, lots of people are jubilating and they are very excited because the lady that they all wanted to be in the race is back, and they believe she has what it takes to win power for NPP in the Manso Nkwanta constituency in 2016. In 2020, I said I will speak to Madam Grace.
Sure.
Grace, very and listen to what she has to say. And supporters just brought jubilation where we are. So, Madam Grace, where are you?
Very exciting. Very exciting. I can't even quantify it with any other thing.
So you think you can win back the power for the NPP in the Manso Nkwanta constituency? Already, NPP is in the seat. You were there 4 years ago, but Mr. Nkwanta was able to unseat you and contest for the NPP, and he won. And he's doing a good job, some people would say. How do you think you can unseat him?
I think I have to beat my people over there, and maybe tell them that what they were expecting has come true. The people needed a change because of what they perceive to be something they dislike. At the grassroots level, I think national executive The neck decided to disqualify me after I've been qualified at the vetting level, and later on we realized there was that agitation that there was an appeal, and because of that I've been disqualified. My people have never been happy because they have been yearning for a change, even though I've been on the seat before. And that is where they compared my performance to the current MP, and they needed to bring me back. So I'm sure now that I've been cleared to go for the contest, they are going to vote for me massively. Look at the number of people who are here supporting me. They were just worried because they heard that I will not be qualified to contest.
So 4 years ago, Mr. Joseph Kwam beat you in the race.
Yes.
What do you think this time you will do different to bring you back into the seat?
You will say he beat me in the race. I will accept that because any loss in a race is a loss. There was that difference of one vote. And you could realize that the election was just tied. And therefore, for him to do his work, he has to do extra work for people to accept him, because if you beat somebody with difference one vote, it tells you that in the next election, if the person bounces back, the contest is not going to be easy for you unless you do something different. It means my loss might be maybe caused by something fishy.
So this time you've done your homework and you believe you can win?
I've done my homework, and even I was at home when people came around, always calling on me to come back and take the seat. To come back and take the seat and deliver them from what they term to be very terrible for them. That even though I was in the opposition, I was doing better than what they are seeing now. because Manso Nkwanta constituency is known to be NPP stronghold, and therefore, if we are in opposition, we realize that the whole constituency is in opposition, and therefore, now that NPP is in power, they were expecting that their government is now in, and therefore, something unique, differently should be happening over there, and that is what they are not seeing.
So she was MP for Manso Nkwanta constituency for 8 years, and after that, she was defeated by Joseph Kwam, and now she's trying to stage a comeback. We don't know how far she has gone with her preparations, but according to her, it will be an easy task for her this time, because Joseph Kwam in the last election, that's 2016, won with just a vote. So she's very optimistic, and her supporters are also optimistic. So we wait till 20th of this month to find out what she will be able to do on the day.
Thank you very much, Nana Aljima, there for bringing us that update in Kumasi, where already some people are jubilating following that news conference by the General Secretary of the NPP, announcing the full list of people who will be contesting in the primaries come June 20. And of course, Madam Grace Addo, who is former MP for Manso Nkwanta, will be contesting the incumbent, that's Joseph Albert Kwam. There's also Owusu Mensah, George Obeng, and Emmanuel Opon Boache. Let's go on Zoom now and speak to the General Secretary for the NPP in the Ashanti region. Sam Pine joins us via phone. Mr. Pine, thank you very much for your time here on Newsdesk. Let's start first with the list that is making rounds on social media. Before the news conference a while ago by the National General Secretary, we understand that some 105 people have been passed to contest. Can you verify that for us?
Yeah, thank you very much. Quite unfortunately, I'm held up somewhere, and I was unable to listen or even watch the news conference by the General Secretary, and therefore I'm not in the position to comment on the authenticity of the list. But as to the list that's making rounds, and that has my signature, I can tell you as a matter of fact that I have not issued any such statement, because I don't speak for National Executive Committee. It is the General Secretary who is the spokesperson who communicates decisions of the National Executive Committee, the National Council, and the National Steering Committee. But I don't have that capacity to do that. So whatever document that you see going around with my signature should be discarded, because it's not a fact.
But there appears to be pockets of issues in the region as far as your primaries is concerned. Let's start with the reports that Nuruddin just brought us a while ago, which has to do with the Kwabri East constituency, where some young people there have burnt up the constituency office. They've also they've locked up the office actually, and burnt ties because of some disqualification over there. Their preferred candidate, lawyer Anthony Oseipoku, they say has been disqualified. Has that come to your attention, please?
I've seen that on the social media. I called the constituency chairman a while ago, and he confirmed that there's been such an incident. And we asked them to get the details and investigate and look at the necessary actions that we take. You see, in the game that we play in and in managing a political party, that we have issues that we deal with. One, the National Executive Committee, even before the list, as you said, came up, people were doing that. But in all of these, we look at it from two angles. What are the processes? If you feel you've been disqualified, what are the processes that you go through? It's wrong for people to go to the extent of vandalizing party offices, going to the riverside and the rest, cursing and all that. Cursing cannot change a decision of the council, because the council needs to meet again to take a decision otherwise. So that's a different matter altogether. Two, we also look at it from the angle of misconduct or discipline. So if it's a fact that, yes, have evidence of pure party members, registered party members involved in this, because the party's constitution is clear on the duties and responsibilities of a member. Article 3 is to that effect, and one of them is that when the party takes a decision, it's incumbent upon all members of the party to adhere to those decisions and propagate it positively. Again, one duty is that you don't do acts, or your actions or inactions shouldn't put the party's name into disrepute. So if you have evidence of some of these things, then the party can also deal with it from the angle of indiscipline. So we look at it from other angles. Then also, we also have dialogue, this reconciliation, arbitration. I think we have a committee in the region that are meeting today to look at what they do. Because even if people are not disqualified and people go on for the contest, even after the contest, you may have pockets of disagreement, because when people lose elections, apart from the president, Nana Dankwa-Akufo-Addo, who is so big-hearted and lost elections and took it cool, there are others that would lose elections and they wouldn't want even to accept the outcome of those elections. Therefore, you need to sit them down, look at it all, and make sure that the party moves on.
So the General Secretary in that news conference a while ago said that in the case of Drabin, where we had some people invoking curses on the constituency officers, the directive is that they should be dealt with, and some, punitive action, suspension actually, some of them should be suspended. Has that action been taken already? And yeah, how do you intend?
I just received a petition from some of the police station executives of the constituency, which I'm going to refer to the regional chairman and to the regional discipline committee to take action on.
Okay, so when are you going to look at all these pockets of violence and protests here and there and make a conclusive determination on these matters?
We have an expanded executive committee meeting tomorrow, and all of these matters will be looked at.
Mr. Pine, thank you very much for your time here on Newsdesk. That's the Ashanti Regional Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, bringing us some more detail on the situation in the Ashanti region. We've seen pockets of violence, burning of tires here and there, and also invoking of curses, with the General Secretary, John Boadu, says is rather not, does not enhance the image of the party, and therefore some sanctions should be taken against them. Let's go live now and speak to Kwesi Wilson. He was at that news conference and he joins us. Parker, tell us about the list of people who are rather going unopposed. I see that quite a number of them who mainly are incumbent members of parliament, but also ministers of state are going unopposed. Run us by that list.
That's right, Ernest. So, Bernard Champo for Abetifi constituency is a minister and going unopposed. Again, the Deputy Minister for Fisheries, Asikujo, is going unopposed. And the Education Minister, Matthew Pokupampa, is also going unopposed. The Minister responsible for Special Development and Initiative, Mavis Hawakumsin, also unopposed. And of course, one person that many were looking up to is Kennedy Ohene Japan. He's not a minister, though. He represents the Ashanti Central constituency, and told that he's also going unopposed. So these are some of the lists. And of course, the Railway Minister as well, Jogati, is also going unopposed. And Deputy Finance Minister Abena Asari is also going unopposed. So these are quite a number of individuals who are going unopposed as far as the parliamentary primaries is concerned. And Ernest, just as I mentioned, the party is upset and unhappy with the series of protests and agitation that has made the disqualification of some parliamentary aspirants. Clearly, Mr. John Boadu, the General Secretary of the party, is not happy and has called for their suspension. He's asking all the constituency chairmen to quickly identify these individuals and suspend them. He has given them just 1 week to do that. Failure to do that, the national executives themselves will go down to the constituency and identify these individuals and suspend them. So these are the information we have picked up from the NPP press conference this morning.
Kwesi Wilson, thank you very much. And I know that you are headed to the headquarters of the opposition NDC. They'll be addressing a news conference on a separate matter. But this is your election headquarters, and you need to stay with us for everything election.